Hey everybody, Mike here. I want to talk about shotguns. I love shotguns. If you do not have a 12 gauge, a 20 gauge, or a 410 gauge shotgun in 2025, man, you should seriously consider fixing that. Shotguns are the last bastion of really good value. Even with inflation being what it is and all of that stuff, things are getting more expensive. You can get a lot of shotgun for the money. And boy, they are super useful and handy. I'm going to talk about three different styles of shotguns today. These are all Tokarev shotguns that are imported by SDS. They are friends of mine. We are cool together. They don't know I'm making this video, and I may have some bad things to say about these shotguns. Stay tuned and find out. But I want to just talk about the types of shotguns, why you might choose one type or the other, and what their best use cases are. And while I'm at it, since this is the Gideon Optics channel, let me just say up front, all of the things that you like about a dot sight on, say, a AR-15 carbine, all of the things that you like about a dot sight on a Glock, all of those advantages about speed of presentation, consistency of sight picture in various lighting conditions, all of that stuff, accuracy as distance increases, being able to tune and sight in a dot for a specific load, boy, that's all true for shotguns. If you like a dot on an AR or on a pistol, you're going to love it on a shotgun, okay? So this is the Tokarev TX3 pump. It is nickel-plated. It is sort of a mix between the Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870, and that's a good thing because those are two very proven shotguns. They kind of took what they thought was the best of each style and kind of copy pasted it all into one shotgun. And I really like this. Why would you buy a pump shotgun? Well, pump shotguns uh, will always cycle because you're cycling them. It doesn't matter what the ammo is. It can be crazy hot, 3-inch turkey loads. It can be a less lethal load with a beanbag. It can be, the crazy dragon's breath load that you saw in the John Wick movie, right? The recoil impulse of the shotgun shell in the gun does not matter that much with a pump because you are the thing that's cycling the gun. Like that. The magazine is in a tube underneath. When you manually bring the forend back, you're going to eject your fired shell. When you manually move it forward again, it's going to bring the next round into the chamber. So instead of having a magazine like a pistol or an AR that comes out this way, the magazine tube is here. The pump shotgun has been a bastion of law enforcement and home defense for 100 years. It is proven effective in every situation around the world. If you live in a very hot place and lubricants tend to burn off of guns and they get very dry, if you tend to live in a very cold place, if you're up in Alaska, why are you living in Alaska? You can't breathe, dude. It's like -40. What are you doing? But if you happen to live in Alaska, you can manually cycle these guns by hand, even if they're frozen, right? And so that gives the pump a reliability advantage if you pump it strongly. If you have good upper body strength and you run the gun like you're mad at it, and even then you can jam these things. I'll try to demonstrate that. You can short stroke them. So if I fire the gun and then I don't move the forend all the way back, see that? I jammed it up. Now I'm in trouble. Okay? I have to mess around with it. There we go. Got it to work again. So, it is possible to jam a pump gun, but it's on you if it happens. You have to have a lot of upper body strength, and you have to run the gun vigorously. But if you can do that, the pump is an extremely cost-effective and reliable home defense or hunting weapon. So this is a Tokarev T300, which honestly sounds like a Terminator. Hemi-meti polyalloy. I am a cybernetic organism. And I want to talk about this a little bit because things have changed with these guns, and it's kind of analogous to what I am seeing and what I'm trying to sell in the optics world. So a few years ago, there was this idea that to get a decent optic, you had to get an aim point or a Trijicon, and everything else was just like cheap junk, and anything that was affordable would break when you needed it the most, and it wasn't worth doing, and the warranties were no good. And, you know, if you were serious, you were going to get an aim point or a Trijicon and spend a bunch of money, and everything else was just trash. And then over the last really 10 years, but especially the last 5 years, people have started to realize that's not necessarily true. That you can get an optic that will work, that's not going to be $600 or $700, and it's going to last. The warranty is going to be a lifetime warranty. And, you know, that's what we're trying to get out as our message of Gideon Optics. This stuff is affordable, and it works. It does red dot stuff just fine. When people ask me which one of our red dots is rated for the heavy recoil of a 12 gauge, I say yes. All of them are. This one happens to be a granite comp. Because if I'm not trying to hide this thing, why not get one of the biggest windows that we make, right? So I have a giant window and an 8 MOA dot in here. It's perfect for a shotgun. But any of our dots, even the little Judge RMSC, is rated for 12 gauge. It's fine. They'll all last on a 12 gauge. And so a lot of people aren't realizing that that has changed. And I see the same thing with the attitude towards these shotguns. A few years ago, just 5 years ago, the market was flooded with all these Chirk shotguns, and a lot of them were junk. They really were. They were just trash, right? But they've gone back to the drawing board. They've figured out their metallurgy. They have, you know, listened to their customers. They've started to understand the American market more and realize that, yeah, we actually shoot this stuff, so quality matters. We're not just going to hang it on the shelf because it looks cool like some other places do. Americans like to go shooting, and the more you shoot, the more stuff breaks. And so these Turkish shotguns now in 2025, for the money that you spend, are lasting, they're working, they're nice and reliable. So I kind of want to send that message. It's very similar to the optics situation. Now, semi-automatic shotguns are fun. This will be softer shooting than the pump gun is, because some of the energy, the gas of that goes to propel the shot out of the barrel is tapped off. This is a gas-operated gun. There are also recoil-operated guns, mostly in the Benelli pattern. So I'm going to pull this charging handle back. This is a Remington heavy field load. Now, one of the knocks on on the old Turkish shotguns from 5 years ago is that they didn't like different kinds of ammo, right? So let's do a test right now. I actually haven't done this. That was a heavy field load. Here is a buckshot. I think this is Cheddite. I have no idea what that means. It might be a Reno. Oh, wait a minute. This is what it is. It's a Buffalo buckshot. Who knows? It's cheap. And then this is AA Light number 8 target load from Winchester. Let's repeat the cycle again. Do another one of those. Do another one of those. Do another one of those. And we got one in the chamber. So I have a mix of different types of ammo in this gun. Will it work with a bunch of different types of ammo? Let's find out. Well, that was easy. Cool thing about the semi-auto is I didn't have to pump it every time to cycle it. It cycles itself. I come from the future. My guns load themselves. When the gun's reliable and it works, wow, that was fun. That was controllable. That was a ton of lead. That's a lot of hate and discontent going downrange all at once, right? The disadvantage is you saw how fast I unloaded it. It's difficult to reload. The problem with shotguns is you got to feed the beast. You got to keep going. Your ammo limited. I don't get 30 rounds in this thing like an AR. So see how long it takes me to load up. And then 3 rounds later, I'm empty again. So capacity is limited. True of all of these. The semi-autos are a little bit more pricey. They're a little bit more complicated. There's more stuff to go wrong inside the semi-auto than the pump. But the quality for the money that you're getting right now in 2025 is unbeatable. And it may not always be this way. It may be that another 5 years from now, the quality goes back down because things get more expensive and they start to cut corners and inflation hits and tariffs hit. You don't know. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, These things are unbeatable for what you spend. Okay, and last but definitely not least, as the AR-15 has conquered the world in the 21st century, shotguns have begun to take the form of the AR, and this is a TT-12 by Tokarev. This is a race gun, and it is a magazine-fed AR-15 style gas-operated 12 gauge. It is very similar in terms of how it operates to the T300 I just showed you, but it's shaped like an AR. And therefore, it uses, instead of a tube magazine underneath the barrel, we have a box magazine. Oh my, do we have a box magazine? Now, if this was an AR mag, it would hold like 40 rounds, right? But since it's 12 gauge, we get 10 here. 10 is still an awful lot. Into the mag well it goes. Give it a tug to make sure it's seated. We have fully ambi controls, so I'm going to hit the ping pong paddle. Actually, I can show you. On this side, I can actually even hit it here. And look at that. It chambered up from the right side. So it's a fully ambi AR style lower with an AR style trigger and grip and safety and ambi safety. So pretty slick, really. We've got flip up backup iron sights, and we don't need those because this is a prototype Gideon Mediator XL. This thing is a giant battle dot with a stainless steel cage and a circle dot in it. Quick detach lever. You guys are going to love this thing. You're going to love it. But anyway, Mediator XL is coming. The bad news is, with the Mediator XL on this gun, you're looking at about 10 pounds. This thing is a chonk, and it has a length of pull similar to an F-350 Super Duty. In fact, I had to back up my camera and change positions just to get it all in the frame because it's so huge. It's basically like a massive, giant, huge AR in 12 gauge. What's not to like about that? And for me, so far, this thing has cycled all kinds of ammo. The disadvantage of these mag-fed shotguns is, well, storing spare mags. You're going to have a hard time finding mag pouches. You're going to be able to carry limited amount of ammo. This is really a competition gun, and you're going to have to figure out a way to carry extra mags. In terms of home defense, combat type stuff, there is a hidden Achilles heel to these mag-fed shotguns, which is there's a lot of spring pressure here that's pushing up on these shells, and these shells are only plastic hulls. So if you put enough spring pressure on them over time, as they're just sitting on the shelf waiting for the bad guys to come into the house, it will actually deform this top shell, and it will become oblong instead of round, and you'll get a failure to feed instead of reliable function. So leaving these magazines loaded to capacity for a really long time is not recommended, not because there's anything wrong with the magazine. It's because really, to fix it, we would need fully brass case 12 gauge ammo, like the old school HK Cause program from the 1980s. If you kids don't know what that is, ask your grandpa. But they were looking to try to extend the effective range of shotguns, and they made fully brass cased shells. That would probably solve this, but that's not a thing. If you're just a gamer and you're looking to shoot in shotgun run and gun competitions like 3-gun matches, and you need a lot of capacity and a quick reload, you saw how long it took me to reload the tube-fed guns. This, I can just drop the mag, grab a fresh mag, insert it like an AR, run my charging handle, or hit the or hit the bolt release, and away we go. It's a much faster reload. So, for competition purposes, these are the bee's knees, and they're taking over the world. God, that's so much fun. Yeah. And bolt hold open works. So, like, it's an AR. It's basically an AR in 12 gauge. Super fun, but I would say kind of a niche use for gaming, for fun. Don't know how much I would trust it to sit for 6 months and not do anything, and then save my life when called upon. Which one do you think is for you? What do you like most? You want the AR shotgun? It's kind of the future. You want the semi-auto so you can shoot a little bit quicker and not worry about short stroking? Or do you want the ultimate proven reliability of the pump? You got to run that thing hard and make sure that you cycle it, and it's all up to you. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions about putting optics on these things, I know a guy that can answer them. So ask, and I'll let you know what I honestly think. And if you don't have a shotgun in 2025, get to work.